hello out there. We'll be starting in just a minute. AR, why don't you try talking so we can see how the levels look?
Hi, everybody. It's been 2 weeks since my vacation, and I've barely thought about Digimon, so this should be interesting.
That always makes it interesting. Let's see. Levels look good, but we'll see what everyone else has to say.
I can just move my mic back if I'm a smidge loud.
Let's see. Give this a second. The YouTube dashboard is being a bit argumentative. Yeah, I guess if you move it a bit, that should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and grab us our 30 seconds starting now. Okay, that should be good. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to hopefully entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run With the Will.
I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore.
And May was going to be here this week until last night when she, I believe, broke her collarbone.
I think that was pretty conclusive, given the x-rays.
Yeah. May, before she knew for a fact it was broken, she was most interested in making ass jokes about how the photo she had of her hurting herself looked like Ordinaemon leaning over.
How often does one have photos of them hurting themselves?
Well, when you do it when you're skating, that kind of explains it. She was videotaping herself skating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's just a frame of the video.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, May is okay. She's just probably asleep right now, I would assume, or still in the hospital.
So.
But yeah, so we're not expecting her to pop up, but knowing May, she might do it just so she can make the ass joke herself.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. And if there is video of it, I think that would be a good one for the for subscribers of the Lost in Translation mod Patreon.
Yeah. But yeah, so as far as we know, she is okay, minus, the obvious issue, but she's fine, and she will be back next time, unless she breaks something else, which is possible, because this is, I believe, the
second time?
Yeah.
At least.
I want to say the last time was ice skating, though, wasn't it?
Some sort of skating-related injury.
Yeah. So, we will go ahead and just get started, because we're really not expecting her, even though I still suspect she might pop in, but who knows. So
we're not suspecting, but we're suspecting.
Yes.
Because May's unpredictable like that.
Yeah, and like AR, like you were saying earlier, you got back from your vacation.
Yeah, I went to East Coast, Boston, and Maine for a few days. Spent some time with one of our online Digimon friends who also had the same birthday as me, so that was fun. Did the traditional "my wife watches" try post, which I put in a Twitter moment so everyone can read her snide commentary on movie 6. We also got nice little hope and light crests at an anime store in Boston. We're tacky like that.
I liked her commentary, to be fair. It was pretty good.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great commentary.
Yeah. So, shall we just get started then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like there wasn't a lot of news going on while I was on vacation, and then I get back and it's like, oh, there's a fair bit.
Well, here's what...
It's respectable. It's not an overload.
Well, here's what happened, and AR will know this has happened with us before. One of us will go, podcasts in a week, there isn't that much. And then because one of us said it, the next week is them throwing stuff at us.
Hmm.
So we went from a handful of cards to not an overload, especially since it's been a month,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
to
really,
a nice amount.
like the only really big last second thing we got here was the new rear eye stuff.
Oh no, there's something new since the last time you pulled up the notes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first up, various items from the pop-up shops have started to show up as normal products for the stuff that wasn't exclusive.
Hmm.
So the third series of acrylic cards, which I believe May was importing.
I already have two of them.
Okay. The Tri-Evolution Tau. This bothers me because most of the artwork on it is just adventure.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing because, like, I get exactly what they were doing, but they missed on like 90% of the art.
Hmm.
Then the iPhone 7, 8, and X cases, which I still like these even though they're really basic. And I think that's why I like them, because they're not, they're not the ones that make the phone bigger because the character's hanging off them, even though those are cute and everything.
Hmm. Well, I just like that the pineapple design is just great to have on an iPhone case.
Yeah, that one's great. Then there's the acrylic frames, which I don't know why I like these, because they're completely stupid and almost worthless for their goal.
Hmm.
Because they block the photo if you use them as a frame.
Yeah.
Then the bandanas and the CD memo is the weirdest item I think they've done, because we still get people confused about if it's a CD or not.
Right. Taichi's releasing his debut single to spite Yamato.
Yeah, and the bandanas are already sold out on pre-orders at places.
Thing is, they have regular notepads. I have regular Digimon notepads.
Yeah.
They don't have to be CD shaped.
Yeah, that is the... I'm still very confused why they did the shape, because literally all it's doing is making people think they've missed CDs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the stuff is nice. The only issue I have with the phone cases, and this pops up with most Digimon phone cases, they pop up like a month or two before you expect new models to be announced.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Plus they're always for the smaller ones, and I always end up with the larger phones.
Right.
And on top of those products, hey, this is stuff people might actually want to get. The Digimon Reboot Omegamon kit is coming out again.
Mm-hmm.
What is this, like the 5th time in half a decade, roughly? They keep re-releasing this thing, but they've never done another one. I mean, do you think they're ever going to do more, or do you think that they're canceled and this one just happens to sell, so they just keep doing it over and over again?
I mean, Omegamon's just the go-to one for models, so...
Yeah.
Like, it'd just be weird to try to imagine a different Digimon being a setup for a model kit.
Well, remember, we've seen 3 more. They've had, I mean, years ago, they had a prototype of Dukemon, and they had artwork for Angemon and Devimon. Where
it's just not the same.
No,
like, even Dukemon, it's just it doesn't feel
well,
right.
especially the artwork. Like when you look at the artwork of Omegamon, you almost don't realize anything's different at first.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Then hobby shops in Japan are getting a new stock of the Battle Spirits 1.5 set, which I don't know why I'm surprised, but for some reason that did surprise me. I don't know. I like all the Battle Spirits cards. I hope we get more. I'm glad that 1.5's out again, so people who missed it can get it.
Yeah, probably maybe they oversold because people are just getting it for the artwork rather than the games.
That's possible. And now the best one, the Art Visual Collection. They're doing another wave of orders for. These are the insanely high-end posters, which cost $300 each. We don't know anyone who's even thinking about getting them, but I just like mentioning it because they're that fucking ludicrous. Are you shocked they did not add an 8th one with the other Part 6 image yet?
Kind of.
It feels like something Toei would do.
Yeah.
And moving on to more exciting news, the second wave of Pendulums will be up for pre-order on June 28th. And from V-Jump, we got to see not necessarily the only, but the ones they're showing us now, the exclusive Digimon for the new models. The Dukemon color gets Darkdramon, and the Beelzebumon color gets an ex-antibody version of Jessmon, who was already the spikiest Digimon we had.
Yeah. Jessmon X antibody. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen this. There's not a card for it. I'm just going to send you the image. The first wave of Pendulums have started showing up. Look who shows up in the instruction booklet. I've just sent AR a photo.
Okay. Oh, hey.
And just to give you what they're saying, the one on the right says, "I'm going to copy you." The one on the left is saying, "Hey, who are you?" On the left is Rudomon. On the right is very clearly Capipimon from Atmon.
Capipimon.
And that's just a very, very cute Easter egg that they've thrown in the copy Atmon, basically to mock and joke the copy feature of it. Which,
they threw in an Atmon. That's just fun right there.
That's just a great little reference.
Need more Atmon Digimon interaction.
Yeah. And they drew him really cute, obscenely cute, which is weird because they normally give him the teeth.
Right. Yeah. Capipimon is I don't really care for Capipimon, but he's really adorable in that picture.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's a very super deformed Rudomon also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so
the Rudomon lends itself well to being super deformed too.
Yeah, so they're having some fun with the Pendulums, and I don't know. It's just nice to see Atmon stuff included. We'll definitely have more to say about the Pendulums next time because I suspect we'll be seeing more Digimon for these. And again, these colors just look so good. Like they're just great colors for the new wave of them. Next up, the third series of Capsule Mascot collection Gashapon figures. This is the first time we've seen them in color, which is like these ones it feels like images of them have been delayed a lot. This one is Bodamon, Greymon, Angemon, Devimon, and Mamamon.
The texture on Bodamon.
Yeah, the texture on all of these look much nicer than the others, and I suspect that's because these are the press ones, and they won't look as nice in the Gashapon that are basically $2.50.
Yeah.
I mean, these do not look like $2.50 figures.
Right.
And I suspect that's on purpose, but we'll find out. These are going to show up in July. In the image, you can also see the fourth wave, which showing us renders of those now are kind of weird because we've already seen them. Like, we've seen the actual figures at an event. I don't know why they're showing us renders at this point, but they are. Also from V-Jump, hey, they gave a page to Digivolving Spirits, and there really isn't, it's basically a page they've done because they don't have anything else to show, really, at the moment. Yeah. Because we've seen Adler Kabuterimon, he looks great. We've seen Alphamon, he looks great, and he's out next month. And I am never going to try to transform that fucking toy. Every time I look at the Alphamon Doremon transformations, it's like, ugh, I'm not touching this.
It's a Royal Knight. It's supposed to be difficult.
Yeah.
I love that. I still love that.
Yeah. We'll have more to say about that, but do we have anything more to say about it right now? Minus that, I mean, we don't know who the next one's going to be, but it's going to be either Patamon or Gilmon, since they've been teasing both of those. Yeah. But we did get an odd surprise for Taymors fans, though.
Yes.
Two different series
Happy about this one.
Two different series of Crane Game plush prizes, which are all roughly 4.5 inches, and it features a really, really good lineup of 7 Taymors characters. These are borderline the exact 7 you'd want. Gilmon, Renamon, Terriermon, Impmon, Kulumon, Lopmon, and Leomon. Yeah. They all have a chain go ahead.
I suppose I could put a shout for having a Marine Angemon. That would be adorable.
Marine Angemon feels like if these do well and there's a wave 3.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they do well.
And they're all on a chain to connect.
At that point you'd be starting to run out of possibilities, but for a Taymors real themed series. But yeah, I've got a couple, I think I have the Megumon from this previous line, so Yeah, I could. Like I really want this Kulamon.
They're all on a chain to connect to a bagger keychain. And I gotta say, the one that I like the most because it feels like it's the most stylized is the Leomon.
Yeah.
Like the face is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, both series of these are showing up on July 28th. They're only going to be at Namco and Sega branded locations. So if you know someone in Japan or who's gonna be there, make them go to an arcade. And
Anime usually does a pretty good job
yeah, true.
getting some of these available. So
And more sort of Tamers, but not really. Pre-orders for the re-release of Digicall Season 3 is open.
there's a couple Tamers in this.
It's sort of Tamers, but it's also sort of...
Tamers 02.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have Vmon, Chibimon and Chikomon, Wormmon, Minomon and Leafmon, Patamon, Tailmon, Terrymon and Lopmon. 300 yen each, sold in boxes of 8. Do you think they're gonna go ahead and do a series 4 after this? Because they've gone through and re-released all of them.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there'd be interest for them.
I guess the question is if they do a 3, more 02, more Tamers, are they gonna bump over to Try somehow?
I think you could do like a Tamers and Try. You know, they're obviously these aren't tied to one. Each series isn't tied to one show, so you can kind of mix it up a little bit. I mean, there's a few possibilities you can still hit.
Yeah. But yeah, these are basically very, very cheap gem figures, which kind of makes them nice, especially for anyone who's been collecting the gem stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of the gem figures,
oh yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, we'll do the gem part last on this, but so first up we have just a handful of small updates. Kenji Watanabe did drawings that he brought with him to Doll World when he was at the Visual Doll booth. We have 6 Digimon, an Appmon. I mean, the Gatchmon one's great. Then we have characters from some more eclectic stuff he worked on, which is Magical Witches and Legends. Magical Witches is interesting because he worked on it directly after Digimon, and that's where a lot of the magical stuff from Digimon actually comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave those out on the first day. Then Bandai was asking people to fill out a link survey, which I feel like I should have done, but I just didn't care.
I filled it out. I thought it was fun, just the level of inclusion they had with some of the questions they had. I mean, there was a lot of good questions about links.
Yeah.
And just the idea of them presenting all of these different genres for possible Digimon games. Like, yes, I'll take a Digimon rhythm game. Why not? And yeah. I'm also really happy they included Appmon as a favorite series question.
Yeah. Oh, they've been including Appmon in all the pull stuff they've been doing.
They have. But just to find it in an English language survey. Like, it's an English language survey that uses the dub names for the series. Like, it referred to Digimon Data Squad, Digimon Fusion, and then Appmon. Or Digimon Universe, Apply Monsters, like, if we want to be technical.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that they're including it, though. Mm-hmm. And then last up for those small updates, they went through and did photos actually showing the molds being done for the gem figures. And I just love behind the scenes stuff like this.
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that I don't really collect the gem figures, but it's just really cool to see this process. I didn't realize how hands-on and manual a lot of it is.
Yeah, and they point out that that's also this isn't done. There's less places that actually do this now.
Yeah.
But
I bet.
But what I like, and it's kind of weird because they don't often do it, the last photo was actually one they showed of one that didn't work, where it came out of the mold wrong, and I just love doing that because they generally don't show this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, I just like the behind the scenes aspect, and that they aren't, like, they're showing it where, plastic's still on it, they're gonna have to shave off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, I just like it. And I hope they do it again for Metal Garurumon, because that one looks neat enough that I'd like to see something that isn't just a center chest piece, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a bunch of Rearise stuff to go over. Like, this is the most we've had, period. So, first up, they did a few more of the Shikishi campaigns, but those are all done. At this point, they've done the whole main cast. They did a vote for which Digimon you want to appear. Twitter vote also. That ended, and the winner was Vmon. Objectively, the best choice.
I mean, compared to Yuki Agumon, I guess it's the competition was a little. I don't know.
I feel like all the choices make sense except two of them, which felt like they just needed two more, which was Yuki Agumon and Gaburimon.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vmon won, and there's already been 250,000 pre-registration, so everyone will get him. They also started giving out paper crafts, they've done Koromon and Pasurimon. These look fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah.
I should make one. I don't know if I will. And I love that they continue to use the Erismon plush. Like, it's just such a nice looking thing.
Yeah.
And they also went over one of the characters we've seen but didn't have details of, which was the cafe owner.
Yes.
It's Chihiro Sukimori. Yeah. She owns the cafe Truffle, and she, listens to the various characters and supports them as an adult, basically.
I hope she's secretly like Murray or something.
Yeah, and her voice actress was a bit of a surprise. It's Yukiko Morishita, who's Meikumon.
Yeah.
Which feels like everyone kind of went, okay, I know what's going to happen here. Meikumon's going to show up. I mean...
I'm not going that far.
I'm not going that far, but it's a mobile game that will no doubt have tie-ins, and when you have the actor already...
Sure, when you have the...
Yeah,
when you have the Meikumon tie-in event.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be involved somehow.
Yeah. So then, yet more Rear-Eyes. We got a new trailer, which actually has quite a bit of gameplay and starts to give us an idea of what the game will actually look like. There's nothing really surprising, is there?
No, not really. Like, I'm looking at the gameplay and I'm looking at the story elements. I'm wondering how the two are going to be combining, but and just like you having your army of different Digimon and these characters out here with one partner. I'm not sure how those are going to connect, but I look forward to finding out.
Yeah. The story that starts off the game is... I'm actually surprised that we didn't have it, because it feels like we knew all this. But as far as I know, we didn't have this in English. This is a story where your Digimon will rearise. Pasurimon has settled inside your smartphone unnoticed. As the two of you chat casually through your smartphone, little by little you grow closer. One day, as the calm days pass by, you are attacked by an enemy spiral that suddenly appeared. Its mind focused on wanting to rescue you. Pasurimon rearises from your smartphone. It then evolves to Erismon to fight together with you. From here, your new adventure with the Digimon is about to begin. We didn't have that, but it feels like we had every single piece of it and knew all of that.
Yeah, like none of that surprises me. It seems like a pretty typical start for a game like this.
Yeah. Then they did another one of those conversations between producer P and employee C at the Rear-Eye site, and Garm went through and pulled out all the character details, which we're not going to go over all of them, but there's some interesting stuff here.
A little bit, yeah. Trying to figure out if Takumi's the gogglehead or the rival now. Kind of got both elements here.
Well, Takumi's the rival character because you're the protagonist character.
It's just with a name like Takumi, you just expect him, and Takumi and a sports player, you expect him to be more in the gogglehead mold. It's like, no, okay, he's gonna be the rival.
Yeah, I guess so. I think the most interesting thing about these is, despite like it being really expanded over what we had, it's almost all information we sort of knew, just not that clearly.
Sort of we got a feel for before, like we could have sort of guessed some of these elements of their characters, but having the details is nice. Like, I'm already feeling bad for Kato. Like, I just feel like he's gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. And then on top of that, from V-Jump, the photo's cut off, but the little girl character we saw in the intro, she's sort of visible, and it clearly was going to show her name and voice actor, but we just can't really make it out at this point.
Is that from the scan or the card or the page that it got cut off?
The photo someone took of the page, and there's isn't
Okay.
a better photo yet.
Okay.
Someone said that it looks like you can make out Nozo, so it's probably Nozomi or something like that, and it may
Mm-hmm.
mention that she's related to Kato in some way.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is because some of those generic things, it could just be a neighbor who treats him like an older
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she apparently has some connection to Kato, but we will find that out probably right when we're done recording when a better photo shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And getting on to, I don't want to say real games because that's not quite right, but bigger games. Habu's being really like not clear lately.
I don't
With
mind
his,
this. This is
yeah,
fun.
like he before he specifically said they're working on a new story game. The reason they made Hacker's Memory was so that they had more time to do the big story game, but they still had something to release.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's saying he hopes to announce what they're working on in the summer. It's not part of a series, and it's a slightly different concept, and it's not a story, or it's not from either story or world. And
Keep us guessing. I love it.
and it's a new attempt at the subject. So the question is this a second new game, or do you think the story game morphed into something else?
Right.
Because we
I
don't,
don't know. I like this. I think I don't mind that they go for the
or
little bit of a different direction
or serious
with
question,
whatever's coming
or
up.
serious question: is this a story game where one thing changed? They went, we need to change the name. Like, do you think there's a chance
Yeah.
that we get this and it's just a story game minus one change that just makes us go, eh?
Well, it's. I mean, story games they do change a little bit, so
Well, sure, but that's what I mean. Like, when you look at
yeah.
each story game change, and Habu does have a habit of, what's the word I want to use here? Overselling things.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wonder if it might just be a story game that does not have story in the title.
That could be, which I'd be okay with. You know, like if they decide to restructure a few things and develop a few different mechanics, as long as there is a story in the game and it's not all out a world game, I'm probably going to be down with whatever they put out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially since with him hinting summer, it brings to mind that we have stuff coming up in the summer when stuff could be announced. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they showed off the logo to the Wada Koji Memorial Live concert. Very nice logo. I'm not sure I like the butterfly image though, to be honest.
I think it's okay.
It's not bad, but it feels like they went with this very clean and crisp design. You have the triangles. It feels like maybe a minimalist butterfly might have worked better, just like an outline or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, logo's nice. We already went over all the guests in detail, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks nice. I will be hearing more about this, and the Digimon music producer also said more tickets would be made available next week.
Oh, that's
So
good.
if you're gonna be in Japan and you miss the tickets, you have another chance. And this is where it's sad that May isn't here because she was so excited about this.
Well, I mean, May can still buy it,
Yeah.
just can't talk about it.
Yeah. Data Squad's coming out on DVD in Australia again. This time as a single box set rather than the 4 mini boxes they did, which my understanding weren't that easy to get a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be September 5th for $60. The fact that it's 8 DVDs basically tells us that it's probably going to be based on our release again.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I just bought the Data Squad DVD box earlier this year.
Yeah. And then moving on, let's see.
But yeah, I'm just happy that all of Data Squad is coming out in a full set, because that's always the hardest one to watch online, too.
And we finally have the home video covers for Try Part 5 in the UK and Try Part 4 in Australia. Part 5 continues its usage of the home video covers, which they did for everything except Volume 1.
Yeah.
And Try Part 4 continues the very nice usage of the theatrical posters, which they also did except Volume 1.
Yeah.
I think I like theirs better than ours because of the logo placement, but I also understand why we have the logo that stands out.
Yeah.
have more. I mean, there's not much to say about these at the moment. They're still saying that Tri Part 5 will be July 30th. I still suspect that will be delayed. The Australian release of Part 4 is August 15th. Hopefully, at some point, Australia will get to catch up to us again. Then Tri Part 6 ended its theatrical run after 6 weeks.
Had a nice run.
Yeah, it was number 1 on the mini theater rankings for 3 weeks. It was number 3 the 4th week, even though it was in even less theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything else to say about that?
Well done.
Yeah, well done. I hope. I'll go ahead and say this. I hope someday they recorded those commentaries and we get to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff we heard from a couple people who were there were fun. I would describe those as. Like, I don't know if it was really I don't know how informative it was, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, I feel like it can't be informative when you're sitting there doing it live, because I feel like if you're doing a commentary, you'd have notes with you, and you don't have a crowd.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Then the Tri Part 6 Blu-ray came out in Japan. We did breakdown scans. The sales were shocking. Like, I was surprised when the second week it actually went up in rank.
Yeah.
Last time we saw the third week, it was still hanging on on the charts. We don't expect it to show up for a fourth. That would be kind of abnormal. I don't know. The Amazon box was far sturdier than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's really a heavy-duty box.
That's good. I like that they included a box for holding all of the different volumes.
Yeah, and a lot of extras on this one, which, it basically has some stuff from Part 5, a bunch of stuff from Part 6. I don't know why the evolution clip makes me laugh, because it's like one of those weird things that everyone's always kind of wanted, and it's just there as like a 14-minute thing.
It's one of those things that a lot of people want, and a lot of people are annoyed when it takes so much of the actual movie.
Yeah. But yeah, nice Blu-ray. The storyboards they picked this time are really good ones.
Okay.
Didn't look at them?
I peeked at them and they seemed like good critical.
Yeah, I love them including the storyboards, and I really would like a storyboard book or something like that. I don't know if we'd get one, but I can still hope.
And we want a storyboard book, we want an art book, and we want an OST.
Well, we got an art book for parts 1 and 2.
A full art book?
Line art book.
Oh,
it was like,
I meant like a full art book, including a lot of the promo images would be nice to see.
Yeah, especially since we've got a lot of weird promotional artwork for Tri.
Right.
Like we need big prints of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
ones I think we don't have that are still kind of obscured with text.
Yeah.
From magazines.
Yeah, and speaking of weird collaboration stuff, they've added new coasters to the King of System karaoke event. At this point, like, they're adding them the actual date where they added them was June 16th. By that point, Tri was like out of theaters already, and they're adding 16 new coasters. So it must be doing decently. I like how the first 8 are Tri Part 6 coasters, and the last 8 are more of those soft keychain ones, but it's just the adventure art, which is kind of neat. Minus Tentomon, who, like, everyone is either in a basic standing pose or like a pseudo action pose. Tentomon, they've gotten artwork of him looking 90 degrees off to the side.
Side profile.
It's really weird looking.
They're taking his mugshot.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that one, because it's just so hilariously weird looking, because, like, some of them are action poses, some are just standing there. Tentomon is looking the wrong way.
Someone told him the camera was in a different direction.
Yes. And that continues on through August. And moving on to, well, another example of artwork collaborations. We have all the artwork and all the details for the Megami Chiba Tri Glasses line. And when one of the cafes was doing their closing event, they ended up showing that there was going to, in fact, be 8 pairs and not 2. The amount of detail in these is actually kind of shocking. Like,
yeah, when you see them up, like you sort of scoff at them when you find out about when they announce them, but then you get up close and look at them, and it's really impressive.
yeah, like the amount of thought in some of these is almost surreal.
Did they announce the reliability ones though? I don't.
Well,
I didn't
they
see
use
those
they
on the...
they use the English term, so there isn't one that says reliability.
Okay.
So you're looking
Joe's...
you're looking for the sincerity ones.
No, I'm looking for Joe's.
Yeah, sincerity.
Oh. Glasses of... No, I meant the glasses for...
Yeah.
Oh, since... Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, they all look nice, and they point out that, yes, a few of them, and this is also was mentioned in the commentary, not necessarily identical glasses for some of them, but these were the ones some of the characters were wearing at the end of Try. I believe the only ones that were identical were Taymors. But yeah, at least three of the 8 of these actually did show up in Try.
Mm-hmm.
The case looks great, and it has a nice Digivice motif on them. They haven't shown us the wipe that comes with them. I assume that will have the character art. You have glasses, I have glasses. These prices are shockingly good for.
They're very reasonable.
Yeah,
especially if they're apparently they say they include lenses. Is that how I read it?
They include lenses.
Different types of...
Yeah, up to 30 different types. The only ones they charge extra for are specialty ones, like, if you want... What's the one for computer lighting?
Right.
But yeah, there are 30 different types of thin lenses that are included for prescriptions.
Yeah, that is a very reasonable price for glasses.
Yeah, that's cheaper than walking into like a Costco or a local glasses store and buying not high-end glasses. These are like normal glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have my glasses are a little more expensive. I have pretty thin. I like thinner frames, so that's why
I like the front to be big but not too big, but my prescription's high enough that I have to get like super ultra thin just so they aren't stereotype Coke bottles.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are out August 1st. The artwork is great, and the artwork is actually from Adventure, the poses.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. Now, weird thing about the poses. Does it seem like they spent a lot more effort on Hikari than everyone else? Like, looking at the artwork, like, she seems more detailed and more energetic than everyone. It just struck me with looking at it like
maybe that's just more energy from Hikari than we're used to.
Maybe. I mean, we're normally so used to like Indies Mimi being like the one who seems to be drawn extra well.
Yeah, Mimi's just really chill in this one.
Yeah, Mimi's sort of there. But yeah, everything just I don't know.
Part of it's that they're trying to replicate the poses from Adventure. It just makes it a little strange to have them 6 years later. So
yeah, it just I feel like the main flaw of the artwork. It feels like not much effort was put into the Digimon themselves.
Yeah.
Like some of them
which is kind of strange because the Digimon, the designs of the glasses, a lot of the elements of them are from the Digimon.
I want to say the only one that has design elements from any of the kids are the Courage glasses, because they mentioned the goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like Agumon almost has like I don't know, it's just kind of weird looking to me.
Which one was
Agumon? Especially just looks like he's dancing or doing something.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird to me. Moving on to summer events. The Summer Friends 2 Anna Song event is going to have various Digimon guests. It's going to have Yudo Kazama, who's Yamato in Adventure in 02. Oitada, who's Terriermon in 02 and Taymors. She's also Lopmon in Taymors. And Michihiko Uta. It's July 29th in Odaiba at the Rudo K3 to Ikebukuro. It starts at noon. The early ticket lot is over. July 4th is when normal ones start. 4,000 yen isn't bad. The most interesting thing, though, is it's 15 miles from where Digimon Thanksgiving is being held the same day, but also many hours apart, so it's very easy to go to both if you get tickets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of interesting that they schedule that an anime song event with Digimon guests was scheduled there, and I kind of wonder. I want to say we'd probably see Uda at Digimon Thanksgiving also. I'm not sure about the other two, though.
Yeah, the other two I'm not so sure about. Uda,
Yeah.
I could see, yeah.
Uda seems to pop up at random, even when we don't think he will pop up.
Yeah.
So
he if not, he probably might be able to swing by anyway. Like,
yeah.
oh, I'm in town.
Yeah. And on top of that, they announced the first guests for Digimon Thanksgiving. There's no surprises for here. We have Chika Sakamoto, who's Agumon, Mayuchi Yamaguchi, who's Gabumon, Natsuki Hanai, who's Taichi in Tri, Yoshimasa Hosoya, who's Yamato in Tri, Ayumi Miyazaki, and AIM.
Okay.
Like, those are the obvious first guests to announce. If there's more guests, I would hope that they would jump to someone more, slightly less surprising first. Like, jump to... trying to think who hasn't shown up at a lot of stuff. Announce Sora's actor, because, like, many of the other Tri actors have shown up so often, it would not even be a surprise for them to show up.
Yeah.
Like Mimi, Joe, and Takura's
actress, it just assumes going to be there anyway.
They've shown up when it doesn't even make sense for them to show up. They're doing They're doing a commentary with the production staff, and Mimi's there.
Yeah.
By now the ticket lottery winners have been contacted. It's July 29th, like we said, but it's at the United Cinemas Aqua City Odaiba at 6 p.m.
I'm just happy it's on a Sunday, so I don't have to pay attention while I'm at work.
Yeah. Well, that's what DigiFest last year was a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah. So
those are always the midweek though.
Yeah, the midweek ones are killers.
Midweek ones are the ones that really ruin me.
Yeah. Especially since it's a weekend event and it has people showing up, it means they're not doing the weird time stream where it ends up being 3 or 4 a.m. for us.
Yeah.
So we'll see what gets announced there. There's possibly some clues later in the podcast.
Yes, there are.
Moving on to yet another event. We have the details for Triad Anime Expo 2018. There's some good stuff here. There's a voice actor and director panel Friday, July 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be at LP 411. It's Learn the Art of Voiceover with Digimon Adventure Tri director and cast. Director Ryan Johnston, Joshua Seth, who's Tri, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who's Sora, and Johnny Young Bosch, who's TK.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically going to go over voice acting and directing, give stuff about...
I hope it has more Digimon specifics than just a standard process panel.
Hopefully. They're going to pull up audience members to do a scene from Tri Part 6.
That's fun.
The panel is being presented by Shout Factory and Toei, which means that's code for this is going to show up on the Part 6 Blu-ray.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know for sure, but I feel like we kind of know. Don't you think so?
It's a fair guess. I mean, we're thinking the Part 6 Blu-ray coming out probably November, December.
I'd say early mid-December.
Yeah. They'd get this on.
Yeah, this makes a nice meaty extra for them.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in the day, at the Toei booth, Joshua Seth, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Johnny Young Bosch will be doing a signing and meet and greet for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be neat for anyone who can go. And last but not least, Shout will have Part 5 there early. Which I think... Did we call this on the last episode, I think?
Yeah.
It's not shocking, but it's nice. And they will have some sort of gift for anyone who buys any part of Tri. I assume a poster, lithograph, something along those lines. Do we have anything else to say about Anime Expo?
I mean, it's pretty much we were kind of expecting something along the lines of this, and the only question is if they try to screen part 6, which you can understand that they're not. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, especially since they have part 5 theatrically and then part coming
Yeah.
out on Blu-ray. I don't think they want to trip like they did last time, which it was just weird. It wouldn't be as
Yeah, it
to,
really was.
to be clear, it wouldn't be as bad as last time. Last time, our main complaint was there was no way to see the part 2 dub before part 3. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was even in the morning, so it's not like you had time to run, grab the part 2 Blu-ray, watch it. But yeah, so
Mhm. It's also weird for the actors who might be attending that event because Colleen said that seeing that part 3 screening, that was the first she'd seen of Try.
yeah, that is yeah. I feel this one feels like it's a bit more planned out, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and moving on to, I, a lot of people seemed really shocked by this, and I don't know why. We got our first look at a 20th anniversary logo for Digimon Adventure. This was on the page for the glasses. They've since removed it. It is gone from that page. It is a very nice, simple logo.
Yep.
With Agumon's eye, and I mean, I don't know why this seemed like such a surprise to so many people. Regardless of if the animation is going to be Adventure or not, the next animation, we knew the anniversary was coming up, and we knew they were gonna do this. I mean,
of course they're gonna do something.
Yeah.
I mean, not even if we weren't necessarily expecting an anime, there'd be some sort of celebration.
Yes.
I do remember joking about how the Adventure's 15th anniversary was taking so long it was going to lead right up to the 20th anniversary, and that turned out to be exactly what happened.
To be fair, they stopped using the logo at some point, at least. I mean, they stopped using it way too late. Yeah, I want to say they stopped using it 2016. I
forgot if it was in the intro for Hacker's Memory.
Hacker's Memory had the franchise 20th logo.
Okay.
I want to say the last thing we saw the logo on was maybe the O2 set, and that was like March 2016, I believe. But yeah, I like the logo.
This Try itself is sort of a 15th anniversary project, so the fact that that's just winding down.
Yeah.
And boom, here's the 20th logo.
Yeah. I like the logo. I like that it has the Agumon eye. That is a nice touch.
It's very distinctive eye, so it captures your attention.
I kind of wish that they had flipped everything. I feel like having Digimon Adventure on the left would look a little bit nicer, but I understand why they did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the last bit of news is also sort of our topic, and this was certainly interesting, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was at the time. I'm sort of calmed down from it now, but...
So, director Kakudou, who directed Adventure, O2, and X Evolution, announced that he had been working on the new Digimon project and had resigned from it, and he was not happy. I mean, I guess, I'm trying to figure out even what I really want to say about it, because it was very strange more than anything else.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff between the lines that you can read here.
But it also continues a general theme which is odd because he's always kind of had an issue with anything he hasn't done, and and not in the way where, like, when people ask Canuck about Taymors, he points out he didn't work on it, so he just doesn't have anything to say about it. Kakudou sort of tries to brush aside anything he didn't work on, even if it's stuff he had to mention in other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very surreal to try to think about what to say about it, because there isn't really anything said, minus that they didn't go with an idea he had.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, which, well, I mean, the wording itself, which, you know, going with the translation here, it's like the plot he thought was incompatible with what the TV series had already established. That could mean so many different things. It's really hard to speculate what it could be.
Especially since it doesn't even necessarily mean plot. It could mean the mood. It could be that he wanted to do his damn space alien story again.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I don't say.
I mean, you don't know whether it's like this. It may like you're gonna like okay, I can kind of see where he's coming from, or he's just going with his weird space thing, or it's really tricky because Kakuto had so many. I mean, obviously, give him credit for what he did bring to Adventure in Zero
Well,
Two.
that's one of the things we do need to mention is beyond anything else, and this is where even his complaints start to get a bit strange. A lot of what we think about Digimon is from him, but for him to say, well, that's not what the original creator or the original director, who's me, intended, blah 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 blah. A lot of the stuff he did, he openly admits people involved with the brand didn't want him to do.
Right.
And that he was basically...
There was compromise involved in Adventure in Zero Two as well.
But, like, he even admits that, like, some of the stuff was just he was really stubborn with, and they ended up letting him do it. So it's kind of odd to have him now going, they're doing something that I don't... It's not even necessarily that he doesn't agree with, he just doesn't think it matches.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd because he did stuff that didn't match in the first place, and that's how we got what we got. I mean...
Yeah, like he had a lot of weird ideas that he kind of horned into Adventure in Zero Two, and a lot of ideas after the fact that he tried to Word of God in later.
Yeah.
And some of those ideas were, like you said, like the space thing, were just really strange, and some of them were just bad.
Or like where he tries to I mean, we all argue about the continuity of the movies to some degree. But like he tries to hand wave out movies that he made references to. Like, there is no question, movie 2 counts. It's It's in 02. They bring it up in 02. They bring it up in Try. Even before Try, it's brought up in the stuff Kakuto worked on, and even he tries to hand wave it away. And it's really odd then that I don't know, it's just really strange. Even stranger is the sort of mock... it felt kind of like mock outrage from some people.
Well, the takes were... Like, the first take I heard on it meant that because he said this, it meant Try was retconned, which is about the worst possible take you could have on this. So that's where I was starting from.
Well,
so
like,
it was kind of weird.
I saw ones that were trying to comment on this means he doesn't like Try. He didn't really say anything about Try at all, and the fact that he's working on, I mean, we don't know.
The fact that after Try happened, that he's still on board with that he was even on board with this new project in the first place suggests that he must have been at least okay with Try.
Yeah, because I mean, we don't know what it is, but if you had to give let's go ahead and say a 95% guess, I feel like we all kind of have the same guess. It would be Adventure 4.
Well, I mean, this does pretty much confirm that the new project is going to be some sort of adventure continuation.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I think that's a safe assumption now.
Yeah. And the weird part is technically speaking, it's not even, still technically not even confirmed it's an anime. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
But it's one of those logical things where, technically speaking, no one has said it's an anime, but we have someone who's produced and supervised the anime commenting that they're involved, which means Toei's involved. We have the director of Adventure in 02 effectively quitting. It's an anime, even if no one has said it's an anime yet.
Right. But we don't know what kind of anime, whether it's going to be more movies or a series, or that stuff we can still guess on. One part of me, even though obviously incompatible with the original story sends up a lot of red flags, part of me hopes that whatever we end up getting, it's pretty obvious what the issue was. Like, I really want to know now.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it's a big enough deal that we can kind of say, okay, we can see what the issue was.
See, the problem is and that's where I almost wonder, even if we'd see it, if we'd be right. Because here's the thing. If he had said that about Try, there's 100 different things it could be in Try.
Sure.
It could simply be that it's not a kids' action series.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I mean, I would like to have at least an idea when we're done and not just be so...
And I really doubt that we'll ever find out.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, that's not something he's going to say clearly what it was. It might be something that they end up changing in the end.
Yeah. I mean,
after the fact.
I kind of hope it isn't just we have no clue. We're sort of going, maybe he did want to do his space alien idea.
right?
Yeah.
But that's not fair to guess either.
No,
So
although he still seems very enthralled with that idea because he keeps bringing it up. Also, like anytime we think it's like anytime people go, "Oh, that wasn't really an idea, was it?" He will then bring it up on Twitter, like coincidentally, and it's
it
like,
was the thing.
yeah, um, but
It was a thing, and it was sort of that was sort of what they were going for with the Yamato astronaut thing in the first place.
well,
Like
that's
there's an element of canon that was inspired by this
yeah,
aliens thing.
that's one of those oddities that everyone sort of goes off of, but I kind of wish I knew. Like, was the epilogue going to still be the epilogue had they gotten a third season, or was it just we were gonna do something with aliens, so let's make one of them an astronaut? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I kind of wish I knew.
I mean, I think if they were going to do a third season, they wouldn't do an epilogue at all.
But it could have been the kid. But it could have been the kids fighting the aliens.
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, I mean, then after he did this, you had and we don't know. We don't actually know if it was talking about Kakudou or if it was because some people thought it might be about other people who had nothing to do with Digimon. There was one anime director who was sort of ranting about it, and then Seki Hiromi started commenting on it with that director. So some people had wondered if maybe that guy might be the new director, but we don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just very strange.
It'll be really disappointing if we get this project and it ends up being just pretty fine and consistent with what we've had before, and it looked like all this hoopla was over something pretty minor or trivial.
But that also wouldn't necessarily be out of character for him from what we've seen in the past, though.
I know.
Because
that's what troubles me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what troubles me is sometimes it's also that he does not seem to articulate his ideas well to other people. Because one of the things that we have heard quite a bit, especially when it comes to like interviews and booklets, a lot of people involved didn't seem to know the ideas he had in his head until they would pop up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you might want to tell.
But I mean, Konaka's guilty of that too.
Oh no, everyone's guilty of it. But I mean in the sense of we've seen actors disagree with the stuff because they didn't think there was anything in the show showing it.
Yeah.
So it'll be. I hope it's not just we get new evolutions and that upset him for some reason.
Right. That's the sort of minor stuff that I'm talking about.
Especially since he has always been willing to do like odd off compromises. Like originally he wasn't going to be able to use ultimate level Digimon. He was able to use 2 because they were doing the toys of them.
Yeah.
But he also had to tweak the designs they wanted to use to make them match the toys a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why War Greymon has the shield.
And that's par for the course for this sort of
it's just weird.
Production.
It's just weird that he would go off in public like that when it hasn't even been announced. But I almost wonder if that might be a bit of a pride thing, because has he directed anything big lately? I think it's been mostly episodic stuff. I don't think he's directed an actual series in quite a while. So I don't know, and I feel like the public blow up can't possibly be good for him. And I don't necessarily mean professionally. It doesn't quite seem in character. Like, it's not that he's a quiet guy. It feels like an odd blow up to make, especially since it apparently was not brand new.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's good for him. I don't know if it's good for the project. It's just weird.
Yeah. It's one of those
things. At the same time, it's something to talk about.
Yeah. It's something, but it's
a really short episode without it.
Yeah, it's especially weird that he then also goes on to he's not going to be involved with the new project, which of course we didn't know he was involved in.
Yeah, we didn't know he was involved in the first place.
But he will still be involved with music, games, and figures. Has he been involved with the music? I mean, he's shown up at music events.
I mean, he was involved with the sound engineering with the Taymors audio, but that's not necessarily music.
Yeah. Of course, maybe that's what he meant by music. He might just mean audio.
Could be.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a weird blow up that he had because I don't know, it's the kind of thing that makes you go, is he okay? And I hope he's okay, but it's a weird kind of blow up.
It's also one of those things that it'll be really hard to tell which side to fall on. Like, maybe we'll get some clues when the project comes out, maybe we won't.
Yeah, and the weird thing, of course, is they do use a lot of his background stuff, even when they don't follow it exactly. Like,
Triad certainly took a different, tone and mentality than Adventure, but it used a ton of his ideas.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's one of those things where I don't really know what to say because it doesn't make me upset. It just feels kind of sad that he had a blow up in that fashion.
Yeah.
Because, and a few people have said it almost seems more like a hissy fit than anything else.
Mm-hmm. And it's also, it's also it's unwarranted fuel for the fire for, people who really disliked Try.
Yeah.
That I don't feel is really what he was intending with this.
No. I feel like he's not super clear in the message, but the message was specifically, whatever this new thing is, he was coming up with a story with, and they decided to go with another story. And apparently the issue isn't that they went with another story, it's that something about that story rubs him the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it makes
and again, it's not necessarily story, it's something involved with that story, not necessarily the story itself.
I mean, if it shows up and it's literally just Diablomon shows up again, I would go, okay, that's it. He really does not seem to like anything showing up from movie 2, even though he had to use it. Like if Diablomon showed up, that would be the thing that I'd go, okay, unless we see something else, that's what it is. He really does not seem... He has never liked that seems to get brought up to him constantly. To the point that he will start arguing about the birthdays.
Yeah.
Because we literally only have ideas of 2 of the characters' birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Miyako's because
Miyako's was in 02.
Well, they sign was so we can mark that down to a month. Yeah. And we can roughly go with Sora's based on roughly
you can make assumption about Sora's.
Yeah. And
which he disregards.
Yeah, he disregards it entirely, even though he references it in 02, which is very, I don't know, it's odd.
That might be another moment of compromise there.
Yeah, but it's weird that he was apparently very willing to do it back then, and he was not willing to here. It's just odd.
If that's what ends up being the case.
Yeah. The problem is, realistically, we'll be doing an episode years from now when Adventure whatever ends going...
I mean, if he secretly doesn't really care for Try all that much, I hope it's not because Omegamon's in it.
Well,
I hope it's for other reasons.
Well, see, here's the thing. Regardless of what he says about movie 2, which, okay, fine. He doesn't like it. He ignores most of it. He includes Omegamon. It's there in the show. Mm-hmm. And literally Omegamon is almost only there so they can go, Omegamon's not a Jagras, it's a fusion. Okay. That's almost the entire appearance of Omegamon in 02. Mm-hmm. Shall we move on to questions? Because I don't know if I have anything. The problem is we don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, there's so much speculation involved here, and like I said, we're not really going to get answers until we hear about the project, and even then, it's still going to be murky.
Yeah, unless space aliens show up, and it's just the space aliens he didn't want.
Yeah, they're the wrong space aliens. Yeah.
So we'll let everyone...
Or it's not just Yamato and Gabumon, it's the whole team has to do it, and that was...
Tai Chi is fighting a space alien, but he's an adult and his hair is grown back, so his helmet is hair-shaped.
That would be fantastic.
Yes, it would. We'll let everyone think of questions while we talk about whatever we can think of. So, in all seriousness, do you think it's Digimon Adventure 4, Digimon Adventure 0? What random crossover with other seasons?
I mean, given how things ended up going in Try with Daigo and Maki, I really don't think they're going to go back and do a 0. That just feels like not a good place to go, knowing what happens to those characters.
I'll be honest. I don't think it's a 0 for 2 reasons. One, we've seen the end of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2, I sort of like the way Adventure did it, that it was there as a symbol of the cyclical nature of good and evil. I don't necessarily need to see their whole adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, after Try, I'm like, I really don't need to see their full adventure either. Maybe when they first were introduced in Try, I was like, yes, I want to see it. Knowing how the stories wind up, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't. There would be so many mixed emotions going on, and so much dissonance you need to get behind these characters.
Well, the issue also is we've gotten 2 endings for them. We got the ending to their adventure, and then we got the endings to the only 2 of them that seem to still be around.
Right.
So the problem is if you go back, what do you do? Do you tell the origin, and then it ends with them meeting the Dark Masters?
Right.
Like, you almost have to end on a cliffhanger because you've already done it. And it's
not only that, but it's like, didn't they go and seal off a Pokemon or something?
But
isn't that part of the lore too?
But that could have just been the creation of those Digimon did it.
Right.
Was it ever really clarified that they fought him?
No, it wasn't. But there was some sort of a sealing involved.
Yeah, but that could have just been.
I suppose that could have been before, but
but that could have just been creating the 4 gods, basically.
Yeah.
So let's see a question. Which Ultimate Evolution sequence approach do you like more? The PSP Warp Evolutions or Try's Ultimate Evolution?
I like PSP because it's shorter.
Yeah, the PSP one's the PSP one. The PSP one's nice because it's short, but can also appreciate that they went and did normal evolutions for everyone.
It's animated for the PSP game. I do like that.
Yeah, I like that, and I almost wonder if that's sort of why we didn't get it in Try, because it had been done.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand not doing Warp Evolution. Like, that is a different type of mechanic there than going from one stage to the other, at least for the other 6.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with War Greymon, Metal Grurumon.
Yeah, I would have preferred
to go by stages, but the other 6, no, I completely understand having to go sequentially.
Yeah, I kind of suspect there's a combination of reasons why we didn't get Warp Evolution. One is they did it in the game.
We sort of did in movie 4.
Yeah, well, we sort of did in movie 1.
Yeah, it's true.
They had the thing where they like popped up, did attacks, and just kept going. That felt like it was meant to be Warp Evolution.
Sort of. I mean, I would say movie 4 was more explicitly like they're Agumon, like it's Agumon, and then poof, it's War Greymon. Like, you don't see the stages.
Yeah. As for which one we like more and like less, I feel like we both say we like the PSP version.
Yeah,
more.
No, my answer's still. I'm sticking with my answer. PSP.
Yeah. And it looks like that's the only question, so we'll give them another minute or 2, and then we'll call it. Nice, quickie episode. We wish the best to May. Hope she's feeling better. Or at the very least, on lots of painkillers if necessary.
Yep.
Yeah, this episode went much quicker than I expected it to be honest. Oh, yeah, that is something we should go over. Nico just brought it up. When they did the commentary part 6, Motonaga explained the Digivice at the beeping at the end of part 6. That, it's one of those things where it's not on screen, so it doesn't necessarily count, but in his view, it was that a Digi-Egg was appearing in front of Mako.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah,
I think Mako's story works best thematically if that's it.
Thematically, I agree. I can also understand that I
like the Digivice sound.
Yeah.
Like, I like that that's ambiguous.
Well, I can also understand
it's not over yet, but I don't necessarily agree that it should be applied to Mako. Like, if Mako's not involved with this new project, I'm totally okay.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it's also the logic of he's doing it, and he may not know if he's working on the next one, so maybe his goal is to put something on the shelf for someone to deal with if they want to.
That's fair. That's good.
Because here's the thing. The beeping could just be a wry nod to the franchise. It could say, maybe Meicomon's back if the person in charge next wants to do it without explaining it. Because then you don't have to spend time explaining why Meicomon's back, because you can point to the end of Try and say, they already did it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but...
Okay, so here's my question: why do you not like this, but you want Maki to pop up again?
Because I think Maki, I think there's more story you can tell with Maki.
No,
Like, not that you can't tell more story with Mako, but I think that's a reasonable conclusion for her. Where Maki, I still feel like you could do more with that character.
See, I don't think
and
you
I
can.
think they're
I don't think
not
you
necessarily more questions, but I think we can.
I feel
I'm
like
still a little unsettled with the way that her story ended with so little remorse for that character.
See, I'm not bothered by that at all. She spent years thinking of ways basically to fuck over everyone. Why are we supposed to feel remorse for her? Because she couldn't move on and she was willing to fuck over everyone? Destroy everything? And even in the end, she didn't get what she wanted. I mean, that's not a bad way to take a villain. And I'm not saying she became a villain on purpose, but she clearly lost her marbles at some point.
Yeah, but I think that the reason she lost her marbles is so
it is something
easy to sympathize with.
It is
straight out.
It is, but I think it also counters with Daigo very well, because the whole thing in it, to a point, it's the entire thing of Try is can the characters grow up and effectively evolve. Part of the thing of Try was these characters learned how to, and they had trouble learning how to, but they did, and at no point did she even really make an attempt.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure Daigo entirely grew either. Like, I think Daigo
moved
there's a lot going on with
well, to
Daigo.
be fair, Daigo moved on. He didn't necessarily grow, but I think that's also part of the point. Is he was adult enough to move on, or to at least try to.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not. Someone Neko said if Maki needs a redemption arc. I'm not saying she necessarily needs a redemption arc. I think that she just needs more. There's just more to her story.
Yeah. Well, there is. She got married.
That would be a good story.
No, I know. No, I don't. I really don't want to see any more. Like, I would not be upset if we saw more of her, but I think that is an interesting ending because a bit too often you have to have the villain who doesn't necessarily get redeemed, but who has to explain themselves, and then everyone understands. There is something to be said for she just went out and, like, in the end, she doesn't even meet up with the kids or anything. There is no explanation. It's just we're there to interpret based on how she acted. I'm not bothered by that. I understand why you want more, but I'm kind of okay with it. Let's see. A question from Admir. Because it's going to be needed for the merch, and they already use Digivices from the first 3 seasons, do you think they will proceed with the rest of those, or will they make a brand new for 4? I feel like what they would probably do is it would probably be a new art style, and then we'd see products based on that art style.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I expect really to see new Digivices to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Just new styles.
Yeah.
And someone else... Yeah. Were you saying something?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, like, Adventure, there is... Part of the merch element of that is bit of going for nostalgia. So going for something familiar with just a couple new flourishes would be probably the direction they go there.
Okay, and then Fantasy World had a part 2 to his earlier question. What do we prefer between the Adventure and Tri-Evolution's Adventure?
That's hard for me. I'd probably Adventure, but that one's a lot closer for me. Because I do like how the Tri-Evolutions look, but so much of that Tri-Evolution is specifically... So many elements in that are related particularly to Tri.
Yeah.
That's what makes them interesting.
The thing I like about the Tri one... I like the Adventure ones better. The thing I like about the Tri ones is you can see where they got the ideas from Adventure for the new ones so that they're still the same type.
Yeah.
Like, you can point to different elements and go, okay, that's where they got that, that's where they got that. It's a different interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And Shike wants to know, who do you think is the next X-Antibody Digimon? I don't care, to be honest. At this point, they're not really doing logical next choices. It's at the last... we've gotten, 3 in the last half decade almost?
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of just doing random Royal Knights at this point, so whichever Royal Knight hasn't gotten one, I
Yep.
guess.
There you go.
I mean, it doesn't feel like they're doing real.
What are they doing with the X antibodies anyway?
Nothing really. They sort of did a. They sort of
It's
did
just a different type of design.
Yeah, they sort of did a mini story with the two from the card set.
Okay.
That sort of followed up on the original X antibody story. Yes, Jessamon X, we haven't gotten anything yet, but to be fair, we've only seen him in V-Jump. I mean, there may be something that pops up, to be fair.
Yeah.
Nico's question, we kind of went over, would we like to see Meikumon again? Yes, with an asterisk for me. If she comes back, do the 5-minute, oh, Meikumon's back, and then not have this, no corruption, just have her be a character. Don't try to follow up that story.
If she comes back, I don't want her to be that involved.
Yeah.
I do like the permadeath though.
Yes,
I think that fits everything really
well.
Oh
no, it works extremely well. I'm just saying if they do, use normal Maycrackmon, use Racealmon, don't do any dark corruption stuff, just have her be part of the team. Don't
But I think if they were going to do that, I think that they probably could have put that in the end of Try itself. If that's the direction they wanted to go.
But what I'm saying is remember, we don't necessarily know who's going to be in charge of whatever's next. They may have a different vision that they want.
I get that. But
as far as Try is concerned, yes, Meikumon is gone with a wink at the end from the director that maybe it's left up to us, which I don't mind that kind of ending. I don't mind where it kind of goes, and maybe there's more, but that's kind of up for you to decide. I like when they do that, especially in a very wry way where they're not shoving it in your face. They sort of just
it's subtle, so it's not Kokomon's egg washing up on the shore.
Yes. Then Israel asked, do you think we'll get an OVA showing what happened to the O2 kids in Alphamon? I feel like if we got something, it would be sort of like a web OVA that they'd clip into a film later, if they did anything. I'm just not sure. It's kind of like the end of Try. They've sort of told the story. More can be added to it. It's just not inherently necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I'd like to see something. I'm not sure they're going to do anything with it, but it'd be more content, and more content is fun.
Yeah. Especially since maybe we get... I'm trying to decide if we could really see evolutions for anyone other than Imperial Digimon, because they clearly got stomped on, and I feel like if there were 3 Ultimates, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, well, yeah, they wouldn't be Ultimates anyway with those 4, but...
Well, no, you could have one.
You have Imperial Dramon, and that's it.
Yeah,
so.
but that's what I mean.
Imperial Dramon and 2 adults. No wonder they got stomped.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what people expect if they were to do O2, is that we'd have new evolutions. And I'm not sure that works with the story you would tell if it's going to be a prequel.
I just wrote a post about that a week ago, but basically the same answer. Yeah, like it depends on the story you're trying to tell, whether you get independent evolutions for those guys, and if the story doesn't go that way, I wouldn't try to cram that in.
Yeah. I do hope we see the O2 kids again. At least for me, because I like those characters. I also kind of don't want to see them, just because so many people were like so inanely upset about it.
Yeah, with the way they weren't shown, their characters weren't really designed at all in the final movie. I think I really do need to see them in this new project in some capacity. Like, they don't have to be a star or whatever, but. Look, I just need to see them.
Give them proper designs, and in one background scene in part 1 of the new thing, just have them walk across the screen. The end.
That would have been great for the first movie of Try, to be honest. Like, have them show them up and then off them.
And we need an answer to the most important question from Try. Why are there 2 Yoris? Answer me that, AR. Why are there 2 Yoris?
Oh, from the monitor?
Yeah.
I think that the second Iori is a code name for Maki's other project that she's working on, this 13th chosen that she doesn't want to
Clones?
tell anybody. Yeah,
No,
possibly.
and that's the evil
That's
Iori.
how.
That's
That's how.
no, no, no. That's the evil Iori from the fake spoilers.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the evil. Well, that's the evil Iori they put in to convince his family that they weren't that he wasn't actually missing, and that's why there wasn't a big hubbub over why
Yeah.
these kids were. Maki thought of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
She's only kind of insane.
Evil clones. Think that's about it?
We're talking about evil
Yeah.
Iori. Let's we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, subscribe, follow With the Will on Twitter. We have our Patreon that you can join. That helps the site. You can find me technically at Mark FBR, but mostly I just tweet it from the With the Will account. AR, where can they find you?
First Agent ARP. My main account is AR Pulver, which I did use. I did make a tweet today about the World Cup, so
Yeah.
I have technically used it within the last 24 hours. But
Yeah.
First Agent ARP is my Twitter for Digimon.
And you can find May at Ancient Irismon and the Lost in Translation account at TranslationMon.
And the podcast.
Yeah, we wish her the best. We're sure she'll be fine, and we'll be back next time, unless she goes skating again. Uh, yeah, that's about it.
May doesn't quit the skating.
No,
that's good.
May doesn't quit the skating, but the skating does not like May. Yeah, that I'm trying to decide if in the show notes if I should post the clip that she had posted on Instagram or something. I believe, where she actually posted the clip of her basically wailing right into a ramp.
Yeah. I will send you the I will send for them to link to the Simone my wife watches try.
Yeah, we'll add that to the show notes, and I believe you still have a convention coming up next month.
Yep, I got a convention coming up next month. We do have Paul St. Peter and Wendy Lee as guests, so that'll be exciting. That'll be on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of July.
Yeah, and I think those were in the show notes last time, so I will just copy paste that this time.
Yep, and I don't know how we're gonna schedule around that, but
yeah, we'll figure. Let's see. Pull up July on a calendar. We can't really do one the week after unless we do it on Sunday, because that's when shit's going down.
That's gonna be the big one.
Yeah, that may be where, based on scheduling, maybe it might just be you and me on Sunday.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, doing one that Saturday is kind of worthless.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They could announce stuff tonight, but we don't know. So we schedule the show and we do it, and I get the show up. We're not going to do it when 3, 4, 5 hours later, we might get a brand new show announcement.
Yeah, because inevitably we will say something that will be proven wrong.
Yes.
Within 24 hours.
Yes.
Which we risk every time we record.
Also, this just occurred to me. Could it be Kakuto fucking around and he's directing the next thing? Like, could this all just be Toei and him doing social media bullshit?
That would be...
I mean, I don't think it is, but could it be?
No, I don't think they're savvy enough for that, but...
I like how that is the logic that if it were most companies you could go maybe... Because it's Toei, we sort of go.
No, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, what do you pose? It's like either I lied, which was going to make everyone mad, or we got everything resolved, and it turns out I'm on board anyway.
Yeah, but then
it's just sort of a lie.
But even if that did happen, it just kind of makes him look douchey. That he had this big public blow up about something that no one knew about.
Going to space again. Come back.
And that's kind of the odd thing where maybe they would have still talked to him to see if they could figure stuff out. I can't imagine they would want to at this point.
Yeah. I think, they may have tried and they're past that point, but that was before he went public.
Yeah. But yeah, so we will have some sort of episode roughly in the next month. We don't know when. I'm going to go ahead and guess it will be on Sunday the 29th.
Okay.
That's just my guess. Because unless we need to do a filler episode before then, that feels like
that Sundays might be hard for me actually, but we'll see how that plays out. We might have to wait till the 4th.
Yeah.
Which
that's true also. Yeah. Well, it may very well be me and AR recording something Monday or Tuesday at night for an hour.
That also could be. Yeah. That would be a lot easier.
Yeah, because we'll figure.
It also
something.
Depends on what kind of news comes up between then.
Well,
like if we need to have a midweek or a mid-month.
Yeah, well, that's also the weird thing is technically speaking, we don't know if they're going to announce anything. I mean, logically, yes. But it's also like us going, they're working...
It also could be something really minor.
It's basically the same logic of, they're working on a new Digimon anime. Have they actually said they're working on a new anime? No. Are they working on a new anime? Yes, they are. Yeah. It's one of those weird things where we want to be very upfront about what they've said, but does anyone have any doubt that they're working on anime?
I mean, but that's only because of that's probably mostly because of the Kakuto stuff.
I mean, really?
I mean, I suppose, Seki's involvement hints at that as well, but...
Yeah, but at this point... See, but that's the thing, we could even say that he was writing new novels, technically speaking. But yes, they're working on a new anime, even if we don't know that for a fact. We know it reasonably enough. And I think that's about it. And anything else?
Nope, I'm good to go.
Okay. Thanks everyone for showing up. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.